People who aren't religious, what are your beliefs about what happens when someone dies? Lights out, baby. I'll feel exactly the same as I did years before I was born. Nothing. You just cease existing. Have you ever been sedated for surgery and you just black out until the sedative wears off? Exactly like that, except you won't wake up. You cease to exist. Fleshy remains are disposed of by other humans or nature. I don't know what happens, and I'm at peace with that. Same thing as the billions of years before I was born, peaceful non-existence. What happens to an ape when it dies? How about a bear? Or a dog? Or a mouse? Or a gecko? Or a cockroach? Or a clam? What about a tree? Or a mushroom? All of these things are alive at one point, and then dead at some other point. Do we think of them all as having some sort of continuing existence? I don't. I mean, the constituent particles that make them up end up getting recycled back into the ecosystem. But that's it. There's no continuity as far as any of those animals, plants or fungi are concerned. And I don't see what makes it different for us. When we die, the people who love us will miss us. Keanu Reeves. To paraphrase Third Rock from the Sun, governed by the laws of physics, as are all living things. It is a scientific fact that hearts and clocks slow down as they approach the speed of light, the point at which matter is converted into energy. When my heart approaches the speed of light, it will begin to convert my matter into energy, into pure white light. Though I will no longer be with you, I will be all around you. I watched a video a few years ago of a physicist talking about what happens to our energy when we die, talking about how it gets sent out into the universe and reused by the wind, electricity, etc., and that because our energy get reused, we never truly leave our loved ones, and I found that to be really beautiful. When we are born, a cup of water is dipped from an ocean. When we die, it gets poured back into the ocean. I like the idea of becoming a ghost and pranking people. I believe I got dibs on their PS5. Afterlife is how your memory is carried by the people who knew you, or knew of you. I've heard it said that every person dies 3 times. The first time when their physical body dies. The second time when the last person who knew you in life dies. And the third time, the last time your name is spoken. They go to be judged by Schrödinger's cat. And until they are observed by the cat, they are in an undefined state of superposition of all possible afterlives. Edit JK. Nothing. They're gone. The electrical impulses and chemical reactions that made them conscious have ceased. And now they're just a body starting to decay. No bright light. No pearly gates or lakes of fire. No ancestors waiting to welcome them. Just the same as it was before they were born. Nothing. Nothing. It just ends. You might get some weird hallucinations as your brain shuts down. But once that's over, it's over. I think reincarnation could be cool. I've heard a theory that the light at the end of the tunnel is just you being born again. But I don't fully believe anything. I'm just along for the ride, and whatever happens, happens. We are all of us born into this world crying, incontinent and unable to feed ourselves. If we live long enough, we go out the same way. After that, dissolution. I'm not sure what happens when we die. And because of that, I'm gonna try to be the best person I can be while I'm living in case there is an afterlife. I remain agnostic. Yes, not knowing is scary, but it is the truth. We do not know. The same as religions. We will turn back where we can be part of the greater collective. I just don't think that God that created everything was so bad at planning that he put his prophets all in the Middle Eastern area, without thinking about the Mayans or Incas or any other place further from Middle East and on top. of it. He decided to do so in the last 2k-3k out of 200k-300k years of human existence. Kind of late to the party. I honestly don't think he or she or it even cares about prayers or devotion or worship unless he is a massive egocentric narcissist. You fall asleep, but for good. You don't wake up. Everything goes black. Your brain stops working. Then your body decomposes. I sincerely hope there is some form of afterlife, but have no evidence to prove or disprove its existence. The body decomposes and there's no continuation of life through the soul. The same thing that happens before we're born, nothingness. You just don't exist. You become one with the force? Our life force that provided all the energy needed for our bodily processes gets transferred into other forms of energy and our bodies become one with the earth. I guess we'll find out one way or another. Nothing. Lights out. The end. Zilch. Worm food. Their loved ones mourn them. Life goes on. After a generation or two, they are mostly completely forgotten. I don't have any beliefs about what happens when you die. I think you just cease to exist. There has never been any proof that anything at all happens when you die. It's just wishful thinking by animals that are self-aware and scared to die. I have no idea what happens when we die. And neither does anybody else. IDK, whatever happens, happens. Don't know, but we all eventually go on that adventure, so we will find out. I'd like to think that we get to be with our family who passed on before us. And our pets are waiting at the Rainbow Bridge. Nothing happens. Your remains are disposed of in whatever way those left behind you see fit. But you won't know anything about it as you have ceased to exist. I think we get reborn or repurposed. I think every life is a lesson for that individual soul. I highly doubt it's nothing after death. You have a life review. No one judges you for it. However, you feel exactly the way you made every single person in your life feel. So spread love and joy as much as possible. You will feel a love like never before and meet your guides, angels, ancestors, and God. There is no hell. Just one door closing and another one opening. Follow-up question: where do agnostics go after death? I'm not religious, but I'm sometimes philosophical. I think when we die our consciousness goes somewhere. Possibly into yourself again, but a different you. Even if there's nothing but darkness, I'm okay with that. We cannot fathom infinity, and we are barely equipped to understand time and our place in it. That it doesn't matter 'cause you're dead. Read Stiff by Mary Roach. Basically, we're worm food or fleshy firewood if that's your thing. Well, your consciousness goes out like a candle, as far as we know, and your body get dealt with in some fashion. Works for me. I'm not religious, but I like to believe in some form of reincarnation. Mostly I tend to just not think about that part of things. Ecclesiastes chapter 3:20 All go unto one place, all are of the dust, and all turn to dust again. You cease to exist and the universe moves on. All we are is dust in the wind. Faith and religion are two different things. For those that are religious, how can you think an afterlife could be anything but an eternity of hell? They cool to the ambient temperature and begin to decompose after a bit. Any other thoughts I might have on the topic would be pure speculation. If I am feeling philosophical, the experience whatever afterlife they believe they deserve to experience, in preparation for a new life. If I am feeling purely logical, absolutely nothing, which is an option in my philosophical moments as well. I like to believe there's some kind of afterlife. Not exactly heaven, but somewhere I could reunite with those close to me who have passed. You're just dead.